Get rich fast with csgofast.com.
Okay. The ELEAGUE Major Day 2 is slowly coming to a close as Astralis have just picked up their first victory at the Major against OpTic on your second train actually at this Major. Let's start there as long as it's in your head, as long as you remember the details. Yeah, run me through, especially like the first half, and tell me how the match went from your point of view.
Yeah, obviously we got the gun round, and it was very important for us to start out well, because yesterday we had a rough start, and I think that's one of the issues for all the teams here at the Major. It's the gun round says a lot in a best of one, and especially with all this on the line. We lost when they forced board for at third round, I think, and since then, I think we had 4 or 5 1 versus 1, so we didn't have time to defuse the bomb, or they won in a 1 versus 1. So it was very tight, and they won 6 rounds in a row as far as I can remember, and it was tough, obviously. I think we fought our way back because we had the experience from yesterday on how to deal with being behind and still believing in ourselves.
Okay, now I want to ask about I think it was a 2v5 that you lost, or 5v2 from your point of view, that you lost in the first half, about the 8th round or somewhere along that line. Yeah, what went wrong there? What do you think were the mistakes?
I think we got the opening kills outside Glaive and Dupree, and then Rush, he revenged both of them. It was just well played by him, and then me and Kirby had a little bit of a miscommunication because he wanted me to hold Ivy for him, but I wasn't in position for it, so he got backstabbed, and then the 2 versus 2 we just lost fair and square because they played it well. So I think it was obviously a tough round, but we didn't emphasize too much on it. We just wanted to move on. But yeah, obviously losing 2 versus 5 shouldn't happen, but it's a part of the game, and we also won some rounds we shouldn't have won.
Now, towards the end, was there a specific round or a specific play that you think decided the map after all?
It's hard to say what decides the map. I don't think there was a hero clutch for example, the Snacks versus OpTic in the other game, but obviously there was just good plays and good shots by everyone from the team, and also very good calls compared to yesterday, where our T-side was bollocks against Godsend. So we played like we did in practice, and I think we won as a team, and not because we made crazy stuff.
So now that you mentioned it, obviously we have to go back to yesterday and the match against Godsend. What went wrong? It was such a one-sided game, and especially on your best map, as well as theirs, I guess.
Yeah, we played to our strengths. We weren't afraid of playing Train, even though it was a good map for them. In hindsight, we obviously lost big time, and I think it was because it's the first official game 2 months prior from ECS, or around there at least. So it's always shaky, and you get a bad start. And we've tried it before at different majors, and we have actually lost games because of first game nerves, I would say. The system is good for that, because you can actually have bad days without it determines your tournament life. So yeah, I just think it's a mix of that. We underperformed a little bit, and obviously they played great, and I think they studied us as well.
Okay, now I want to talk about preparation. Get each team's kind of days, hours, how much they played. How was it in your case?
Obviously, we took some time off after ECS. I think we went back to practicing the 27th of December, so it was kind of early. Started out practicing and doing new stuff there, and then we had a week's boot camp. Not completely up to the Major, but we had up until the Major, and then we had 3 days at home, so we could just refocus and go home and have the home feeling, so we're not on the road for a really long time. So I felt like we prepared really well, and I'm pretty sure we're going to show it as well.
Now, I heard that you kind of avoided Navi on purpose. Can you kind of explain that?
Yeah, we avoided them and a few other teams as well. I think for us it's more or less about when you practice. Some teams they have a coach, we have a coach, but sometimes they have an analyst as well. And in some sense, when you're making new stuff for the Major, obviously people can record demos, blah blah blah. But if you have a guy on the server who is only focusing on writing down what is happening, I think it's kind of useless to show your things, because it can mean that they know what you're trying to be hiding at least.
What do you think was maybe the biggest thing you focused on? Because obviously, leading up to the end of 2016, you had very good results. So I guess it wasn't that easy for you to find any mistakes that you made over the past couple of months.
Oh yeah, we had a lot of things to fix. We didn't have that much practice, but we always, when we lost or when we won at tournaments, we wrote down what we needed for, like, we needed some specific tactics that are very basic that we didn't have. So we found like the tactics we felt that we needed. We played on what we won previously, and I think we evolved a lot as a team. If we're going like into specifics, it's more or less more tactics wise. Like, we've had the team play since Glaive joined, but we just needed the last set goes, so we're completely comfortable. Like, we saw it at ELEAGUE where we lost to OpTic in the final. At Overpass we only had one B-go, and that was where if they played close they could just shut it down. So we made a new B-go that we showed at at ECS, which was counter to that. So we just did that every time we had a strat that was counterable. We have a variation that can counter their counter. So that's basically it, yeah.
Okay, so now last question. I just want to ask about, obviously it has been quite a long time since you were considered favorites at a tournament, especially at a big tournament like this one, and now people do see you as one of the best teams here and as one of the teams, one of the favorites to take the title. So that combined with maybe getting followed by like a documentary team that you have here, do you think that puts more pressure on you? Do you think you take it maybe as an additional pressure compared to other events?
I think, like, for me, the only pressure that exists for me as an individual is the pressure I put on myself. So I don't really feel it that much, but it was obvious to feel yesterday that we had to get in our comfort zone again. I think at the major as well, everyone here is like, there's maybe 6 teams that could be considered the favorites, because everybody is here to win it and everybody is actually capable of winning it. If you maybe consider 2 or 3 teams that are not, but maybe, like, I would say there's 12 teams here that I wouldn't be surprised if they won. So being a favorite it's not like we're have a 90% chance of winning or something like that, but obviously it feels great to be a favorite again, because that was something we lacked last year.
Okay, thank you very much. Any last words, shout-outs, or anything you want to say?
Shout out to Audi.
Oh, Audi, your new sponsor, obviously. Now, of course, we're going to come back. I'm not sure if we're going to do any more interviews today, but definitely going to come back tomorrow with more interviews, so stay tuned to HLTV.org.